First time camping on the Welsh Tet. I've never done anything like this before, and yeah, that scares me a little. But here's the thing, growth never really starts where it's comfortable. It starts right here, on the edge of what you think you can handle. I don't have any answers. I don't know any trails, or the challenges waiting around the bend. But I do know this, I decided to show up. I decided to throw my leg over and I decided to start the ignition. And that's where adventure begins, not with confidence or certainty, but sometimes with everyday small and mundane decisions, leading to something weird and wacky.
This one was completely my fault.
I'm a little bit stressed. And by a little, I mean a lot. Long story short, I got my CRF and I really want to do some off-road touring. Now, obviously, I did my first tour using the van. So I did that in Spain. That was with the rally, but now I have the 300L. And I was just like, right, okay. I'm going to give tenting a little bit of a try again and off-roading at the same time. So we're going back. The problem is I've been having like a little bit of an issue with some luggage, and I effectively stole luggage from 2 different people. And trying to get it all to set up and marry up has been the bane of my life. So long story short, I'm gonna leave that to next week. That's tomorrow, Saffron's problem. Today I am going to be using basically a duffel bag and kind of like some little straps of the bike. Now, one of the problems I'm facing is the more off-road you go, the less you can bring, because you do fall over. And when you do fall over, you need to be able to pick it back up again. I cannot pick it up at the best of times, and so this is where we are getting to. So we are back camping. Yay! We're going even more dangerous treks. Yay! And I'm not allowed to pack loads of stuff. So this is the volume of stuff I can pack, which looks like a lot. However, I need to get my tent in there. I need to get my sleeping bag in there. I need to get like everything, like my cooker. And then after I have the basic necessities in there, there isn't really much room for anything else. I'm already struggling to get my tent in there. We don't need. Okay. Get with only the necessities. Which is really annoying because I feel like everything in here is a necessity. So difficult packing light. It is so difficult. I wish I was one of these people that could just like suffer. I cannot. Half a bag of food, which I think is reasonable. I don't have to go to the shops. I have my rolling mat. I have my sleeping bag. This is a bit of a big sleeping bag, to be honest, but keeps me warm. I have tea, coffee supplies, camping gas, chain oil, and my jet boil. And I think that was everything that's in that bag. I can't go lighter than this, guys. I can't go lighter than this. I need a sleeping bag, I need a sleeping mat, and I need a way to make cups of tea. But still, I have to go lighter. I have to go lighter. I'm beginning to think people who pack light and they're like, yeah, I'm self-sufficient. Look at how little I have to pack. I'm convinced they just buy the same stuff every day and they're like just not fully like self-sufficient. There is no way you can survive in the wilderness for multiple days on end. Oh, I didn't make my sleeping bag smaller. I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm questioning my entire life choices. Bike pump for going on and off trail. That is not unreasonable. I feel like I am going to regret the next few days, but you know what? Life is for living.
sometimes for crying. Riley is all geared up. I had an absolute meltdown trying to get my gear on this bike. I packed and repacked and tried to leave as much as I could at home. So this is Riley. Everyone say hello to Riley. Hi Riley. And this is the amount of luggage I have. So inside this is my tent, my sleeping bag, an air mattress, my cooker, and I packed 3 days worth of food because we're just going to do a small trip to start with. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like it looks smaller in the video than it does in real life. It feels really huge. It's an absolute pain for sitting on the bike. I definitely need to sort out some luggage properly, but I was just like, I just need to get going. Because if I just don't start, I'm not going to start. So I was like, screw it. We'll do this for this trip and then, we'll reassess, see how things go. Now up front, this is my daily essentials, my drone, yada yada yada. And then I want to show you guys around the front. We have my little stickers. I like to tell people these are the most expensive stickers I've ever purchased because they cost me 4 broken ribs. Now, I'm currently stood next to the viaduct, which is where we are beginning our adventure. I'm just going to go down the road to the petrol station because that's where the next marker for the Tet Trail that we're following. We're just outside Wrexham. Basically, we are going from Wrexham to Anglesey via the Tet Trail. Guys, I am not looking forward to the next few days. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I went on the Tet the other day, realised how much out of my depth I am. And then today I'm just like, you know what? Let's go back on with a full packed bike and go camping. And I don't know why. I don't know. But it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to have fun. Life is for fun time. It's for having fun. Oh dear.
It was at this point I realised I forgot to bring a spare change of clothes and also a jumper for when I was off the bike.
Okay. There we go. Oh my god, that's fucking lightning.
Determined to not let the weather hold me back, I decided to move on a little bit off the trail to see if the weather would lighten up. Of course, with the luck that I had, it naturally got worse, and so I decided to seek out another coffee shop in hopes that the storm might pass over.
Okay, I am going to stop for a coffee. I am literally freezing.
Whilst attempting to escape from the rain, I somehow stumbled upon one of the strangest cafes I've ever been to. I have never seen so many cats in one place, but it was actually kind of cool. There was something incredibly charming about this cafe, and I kind of felt as if I was being transported back to the early 90s, when everything was a little bit more simpler. The thing that surprised me the most about this cafe, however, was the fact that I ordered a coffee and a pot of tea, and they only charged me a couple of quid. I couldn't believe it. It really did feel like the 90s.
He's not happy with me. Okay. Little antisocial man. Might just be the cutest coffee shop ever. because it's filled with cats. Just cats everywhere. So I'm going to be real with you. Part of me like, oh, it's raining. I think I'm just going to call it quits. I'm only half an hour away from home. Might as well go home. Decided to stop for a cup of tea instead, because the only thing I've learned about Wales is that by the time you have a brew, it all blows over. And look at that. Fantastic weather. So I'm going to take my jacket off, throw it on the back of the bike. I'm going to see if we can find some trails. So yeah. Another day, another gate. Another day, another gate. Gates are the worst thing in the history of gates. And whoa, another day, another gate. Another day, another gate. I am strong, I am independent, and I can high kick. Oh my god, guys, it's not the trails that are making me tired, it's the human gates. Another day, another gate. Strong, independent, and full of high kicks. Yeehaw! Okay. Oh.
As the day carried on, I couldn't believe how good my luck had been. The sun was shining and the trails were clear. It was a fantastic day to be out on the Tep. However, it's me, and I'm inherently unlucky, and so this is where things started to go wrong.
Ow, motherfucker. Ah, fuck. Surprisingly sharp, that. Ah, I just like pushed my fingernail back into my like bloody dumbass gate. Oh.
Within a single hour, I had managed to go through 30 whole gates. And I know this because every time I hit my ignition on the bike, it sends my phone an alert. I had been so preoccupied with opening and closing gates that I had neglected something extremely important, and I had made a grave rookie mistake indeed. You see, every time I was arriving at a gate, I would inherently hit my kill switch instead of leaving the bike running. I would then go ahead, open the gate, and then I would jump back on the bike, start it, move it along, rinse and repeat. However, one of the biggest issues I have is that I do have a few devices plugged into my motorcycle battery. And so the end effect was that my bike spent a lot of time being stood around with the lights blaring and the battery being drained. And this is how I ended up here.
Another freaking gate. What the? Uh-oh.
This one was completely my fault.